Hello everyone, welcome to Rockstar Gaming. My name is Eric. Dev Diary number 3 has released for DC Superheroes United. So we are going to go ahead and take a look at the last two updates on the Gamefound page. The second update being the Dev Diary, and see what other things have been revealed for the game since our last update. So let's go ahead and just get started with that. So as always, we do start here on the landing page for DC Superheroes United over on Gamefound. We are going to go over update number 9, which is basically the ManVers Meeple, first look for DC Superheroes United. We're not going to go into like showing off like the pictures and everything from the video, because I do encourage you guys to go look at their actual video and not just the stills on this channel right here. But they're also going to look at update number 10, which is going to go over the last villain that we have not gotten a description of in the previous Dev Diaries. If you have been enjoying this video series that we have been doing, make sure to hit the notification bell to know when we are going to be putting out more videos in this series, as well as other series that we are planning on doing here on the channel. We are looking to do a whole bunch more of these Gamefound crowdfunding lookabout videos in more depth once the campaign goes. Basically doing a day one, looking at all the different updates for the game on day one, like all the stretch goals and everything like that. And then after that, doing new updates whenever they do announce expansions, because we know it's a CMON game. They are going to be doing a ton of expansions for this game. So make sure to hit the notification bell for that. And also, if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because again, why haven't you? It's cool. It's cool. All the cool kids are doing it. They really are. Anyway, so we're going to take a look here. DC Superheroes United. First thing we're going to look at here, update number 9, DC Superheroes United on Man vs. Meeple. I am going to plug their video here because I just watched it myself and rewatched it a couple times this afternoon. They did a pretty good job on it. It says Man vs. Meeple got the game unpacked on our table, showed you as much as we can, and shared some details you might find interesting. We are excited to share that Man vs. Meeple channel has posted an amazing video featuring the prototype of DC Superheroes United. Their enthusiasm for the game is truly contagious, and we're sure you feel the same once you watch it. It was, again, like I said, it was a pretty good video. They went over a lot of cool things and how stuff worked in the game and whatnot. Again, I'm not going to show off like any stills or anything like that in this video, just because I know people took like stills and put it on the Facebook pages and stuff like that, but I don't know how they would necessarily feel about me putting those things up on here, and I just haven't asked. So I'm not going to do it. I am going to just mention a few takeaways that I had from the video that I thought were cool, outside of things that we've already talked about, with like the way that, because I'm not going to go into, because we've covered the Dev Diaries before, I'm not going to go into how Luthor works, how Cheetah works, and Darkseid, all that stuff. But some things I did notice or take into account. One, as far as Luthor goes, we did find out what the other 4 of his other threat cards are, because we already know he had a threat card for the Joker, because he's got a whole Legion of Doom thing going on over there. But we are going to get from him that Cheetah is also going to be one of his, not Doomlings, that's a whole different card, or a whole different game, but Cheetah is going to be one of the members of Legion of Doom, as is Black Manta, Sinestro in his Sinestro Corps uniform, not his original like blue and black uniform, his yellow uniform. And then also we're going to get Gorilla Grodd in the game as well. So I can't remember, and I double checked the update where they talked about Luthor. I can't remember if he's only getting 5 threat cards, or if I just don't know what his 6th threat card is, but they didn't show, as far as I could tell, they didn't show 6 threat cards. They show Joker, Grodd, Cheetah, Black Manta, and Sinestro. So we still don't know what his 6th card is. So, and I don't know if they just didn't show it, if he doesn't have one, or if they weren't able to show it on their video. So there is that. Another thing that was cool that they kind of went over a little bit more is expanding on the special effects cards. So like, for instance, because we just got done playing it last night, I do have like Beast here from Marvel United, who has his Genius Intellect special effect down there. The new cards have special effects that look like this, but then they also have ones that have a green banner on them and ones that have a yellow banner on them. We've looked at that a little bit in previous updates, and I may have actually come to this realization, but old man brain and all that. But basically, the yellow Effect cards, or the yellow bannered cards, are going to be like flip effects, meaning they get put on the storyline, and if you need to use their effect because of some condition that occurs throughout the course of the game, you then flip the card, face it down in the storyline, and then use that effect. A bunch of different characters have it. Batman had some, Superman had some. I think they showed Flash having his. I think the one where it's like he messes with like the civilians and locations, stuff like that. So that's what that effect is going to do. And then there's the green bannered card, which is going to be like a persistent effect. That effect's going to be on the board the entire time. Kind of think about like Wolverine's healing factor card. I believe that there's a fly flying around my head. I believe Wolverine's healing card stays persistent, so that he gains health as after the villain's turn, I believe. It's been a minute since I played Wolverine, so I can't remember. But like Superman, for instance, is going to get 2 of those cards where he's going to be able to mitigate 1 damage on the villain's turn, and also apparently be able to punch 1 time on the villain's turn as well as he can take other heroic actions and punches in the storyline and turn them into movement cards. So he's going to have those persistent effects that you can put down as a starting plan card, or as starting hand cards in there. So I thought that was kind of cool. They went a little bit more detail about what those actually do and those symbols actually fully mean. I think I've conjectured about it and pretty much guessed that on in some ways, but just having a definitive of what those do is pretty cool in my head. They also talked about equipment in the update. So like Wonder Woman's gonna have her 3 equipment cards we've seen. Flash, Aquaman have 1 each. Flash having his ring, Aquaman having his trident. Batman has like 6 or 7 equipment cards, and they did state in there that at least they said in there, I'm not sure, they didn't necessarily quote the rule book or anything like that, but they did say in the video that that Batman is only going to be able to take 3 equipment cards. You can only take 3 equipment cards into battle when you decide to use equipment. So Batman having more than 3 cards is going to have to basically pick and choose. And I think that goes along with another update where they talked about the fact that Batman would have to figure out which equipment he was going to have to take depending on which villain he's fighting. And it makes sense because Batman would be prepared in that way to, it's like when he goes out to find a yacht that disappears and all of a sudden gets attacked by a shark and has shark repellent bat spray on the Batcopter, that kind of thing. So there is that. And the other thing that they said was that there is going to be generic equipment. We haven't seen in hand generic equipment yet in Marvel United. Marvel United did introduce, technically equipment cards are part of Multiverse, and then all the stuff in the expansion content for Multiverse. But as far as having it in hand, the first place we get equipment is in Spider-Geddon. There's no generic equipment in Spider-Geddon, at least none that I found. The generic equipment, I believe, I can't remember if it's like shield equipment or not, like the shield extra whatever equipment. But there is generic equipment coming in Multiverse, but in the form of the stretch goals and that kind of stuff. So Multiverse, if you're just going to be buying Multiverse in retail, you will have the equipment cards for that game, but I don't believe you're going to get generic equipment. I don't think that's part of any like retail package. I don't even think selling the equipment cards is a thing they're doing. They split it up in that campaign. I'm rambling now, but they split it up in that game between retail and promo stuff, but I don't know if they ever said they were selling it or not. So that's kind of interesting. Regardless, so we, like I said, we're getting generic equipment in the vein of Multiverses, and the 3 equipment cards per player. So that's going to be pretty cool. We are getting challenge cards, supervillain mode, battle plan cards for Commander Solo mode, all that stuff. So again, those are the big takeaways outside of them talking about like mechanics, which we've already talked about in these videos right here. That's all they basically talked about in that video. It's a pretty good video. Like I said, it's about 12-13 minutes long. So I would definitely go take a look at that. So again, it's right here. I know you can't click on my screen. I will put a link to this video in the description down below. So please make sure you go take a look at that. And now we're going to go take a look at update number 10, Enter the Joker. So this update is completely about the Joker. They talked about the Joker's mechanics a little bit in the Man vs. Meeple video, but I didn't mention any of that because of the fact that we got Joker, right here. We're going to be talking about this whole entire update. This is the one that came out today. It says at 4:04 p.m. So today being 6:21. I am filming this very late Friday night. I am not planning on editing this today, so this is going to be coming out sometime Saturday afternoon. I don't think there's going to be any more updates or anything on Saturday afternoon. So there is that. So that's when that's going to be coming out. Dev Diary number 3, our beloved lead designer Andrea Treviso gives us, I can't read tonight, gives us some insight into the most iconic character in the DC universe. Dear DC enthusiasts, Andrea is back with a focus insight on what's probably the most iconic villain in DC Superheroes United, the Joker. As you could expect, it won't be easy for the heroes to thwart the crown. I'm trying to talk fast to get kind of through this. The Clown Prince of Crime's plan. First of all, solving 2 missions won't suffice. All 3 missions need to be completed before damaging him. We do, well, I guess we don't really. We do kind of see a little bit of Joker's card here. I think the Man vs. Meeple video does show off the entire dashboard. So there is that. So Joker can be damaged until defeated. All 3 missions are complete. And I don't think he can be damaged at all until Harley gets taken out, because I think that's somewhere on here. But as we can see, we do have a red effect. So we do have green and a yellow effect on the hero cards. On the villain cards, we do have the red effect, which basically means when he is finally under pressure, which I'm still assuming happens after the first mission is completed, that the under pressure effect will take effect. All right, so we scroll through here, we're getting some more of the meat of this update right here, which is this big giant wall of text without any additional pictures. I mean, come on, guys. And the usual rescue civilians mission won't be available, replaced by the special investigation tracker mission, or find the jester, as I like to call it. I don't know why they just didn't call it that then. How does this work? There's a special thug token that has the Joker face on the other side instead of the usual more friendly civilian during setup. And this does show that they are still doing the whole, like, thugs and civilians are going to be sharing a token. So there's that. During setup and when placing thugs in play, if the special token is not in play, you must shuffle the special Joker thug among the other thug tokens. Now I'm wondering if this just gets shuffled into the thug tokens as is, or if it's just when you're putting out those thugs, you need to shuffle it so you kind of know what location it's in. That's what wasn't clear, and I kind of hope one of the upcoming previewing gameplays that are going to come out, we'll go into that a little bit, but one of those videos is going to show, not from us, is going to show how that works. So hopefully we'll get to see that. Let's see. When the thug is defeated, you flip the token. If you found the Joker, the investigation track advances. If you don't, it was simply a thug, so add it onto the defeat thug mission. However, this might accelerate the Joker's plans while you're playing hide and seek with the Ace of Knaves. He will try to spread the Joker toxin with the help of his trusty Harley Quinn. If at any point there are no civilians in play, his main plan succeeds and the heroes have lost. The toxin might also affect the heroes, reducing the actions at their disposal or temporarily nullifying their special actions. So he's not going to have the civilian mission on the board because he's going to have that investigation mission, which isn't shown on here, but it's that one like green bordered card we've seen in some of the other images and whatnot. So he's not going to have that, and he's not going to have, and basically he wins if there's no civilians on the board anywhere. So, and the only reason I'm mentioning this is kind of fresh, but those two things, I know he's got a whole bunch of other stuff in his, on his card and everything like that, but this is basically turning Joker into Magneto from X-Men United. And the only reason I know that is because, again, we just played as him. Spoilers for an upcoming video that we're doing here, but Magneto has the same villain win effect or goal where he's if there's no civilians on the board, he wins, and then he also replaces the civilian mission with the Cerebro mission. Now this mission looks like it might be a little bit harder to take care of than the Cerebro one. The Cerebro one, if you're not careful, you can do pretty quickly because it's just putting out uh, a pair of uh, what do you call it, heroic action and movement, and putting out 3 of those pairs. As soon as you do that, the mission's kind of done. Whereas in this one, it looks like you're going to have to do a lot more hide and seek because you never know where the Joker token is going to go. Again, reading through here, I haven't figured out if that has anything to do with where the Joker figure is on the board. But there is that. So reading back in here, the Joker or the toxin might also affect the heroes, reducing the actions at disposal or temporarily nullifying their special actions. So we already read that, and that's not all. Likely the deadest trick of all is Joker's Arsenal is his BAM effect that will cause heroes to turn face down their earliest card in the storyline, and this will seriously harm gameplay of heroes, especially ones counting on cards face up in the storyline like Superman and Flash. Superman and Flash, we've already talked about Superman having his starting hand cards, which give him a little bit, give him the invulnerability, meaning he doesn't take as much damage from the villains, and being able to convert his tokens or symbols into movement tokens. Also, the Flash, I can't remember the name of the ability, but he basically has a card where you place it down and he has multiple of them, and the more he has in the storyline, the more when you play the card, he gets movement tokens and whatnot that he can use to basically blitz around the board. So not having those available to him is going to stink. So it's kind of like they took, I believe it's MODOK does the same thing. They took a little bit of MODOK and put it into Magneto to create the basis of Joker. Again, I'm not saying any of that as a complaint. As diverse as Marvel United can be, and I don't even know how many villains we have. It's like 50 or something like that we're going to have by the time this is over. Or more. I have never actually counted how many villains are in all the games. But with that many villains, you're bound to have doubling of abilities, or some abilities that are similar and not similar. I mean, Grodd, as far as a threat card, minion card goes, or henchman card goes, he has the secondary effect is the same as Blobs. So again, very fresh in my head because from filming this, I don't know when it's coming out, but we just fought Magneto last night on camera for the channel. So hence why I'm making those comparisons, because it just happened that everything that was revealed in the last day or so, it just reminds me of it. So there is that. Again, not as a slight whatsoever, because you there's only so many ways you can change the game up before you do have to start not repeating, but like just tweaking things into something else. Anyway, did I mention the Joker? Did I already mention that the Joker BAM and a handful of his special abilities change and strengthen once he is under pressure? We've already talked about that with other stuff. That means additional trouble for our heroes, of course, if you waste too much time trying to find the Joker among his thugs, solving threats, and making sure Toxin is under control. The Joker might still get the final laugh by reaching the end of his master plan deck. So again, if he's flipping cards or putting out extra cards or whatever, and he gets through his deck and he can't draw a card, that's just a universal lose condition right there for the heroes. It might sound like a very challenging fight, and I can't deny it is. However, let me drop some hints here. Might expect. Let's see. Batman has definitely a few tricks up his sleeve to see through the Joker's deceptions and neutralize the toxins. So bring him along and choose equipment wisely. Find the right moment to take down Harley. So they're basically encouraging you, James would love this, to wait on taking down Harley and not do it so fast. Knowing what's next in the Joker's plan might be useful. So any characters that can look into the master plan deck are always going to be helpful. Those are always helpful anyway, but choosing your team in their order of play might be crucial to succeed. So basically you got to plan out where everyone sits. Here you go. Assign seats and assign character. You might not need many heroic actions in this game, but you will likely need them early. So that is one of the things with Marvel United some people may not realize, is that yes, there are all the again, I've got X-Men here just because, but you do have cards with all the different symbols. Nobody has the same number of symbols on the bottom. It is all different. Some people have more punching, some people have more movement, more heroic actions. Some people actually have additional wilds other than just the base 2 wild cards they get. So there is that. Joker provides a unique and different challenge for many of the other United villains. I hope you will find it as thrilling as myself, the developers, and our play testers do. There is all that. So I don't know which villain they think is going to be bigger to fight, Apocalypse or not Apocalypse, the planet's Apocalypse, Darkseid or Joker, but it looks like they're going to be vying for who's going to be the most difficult encounter, not necessarily the most powerful, but the most difficult encounter. We do see some of Darkseid's threat cards on the ManVers Meeple video, so again, go check that out at your leisure. I know this sounds like a big giant plug for that video, but it was actually pretty well done. And you know, like I said, I full disclosure, I'm not getting any kind of early playtest or anything like that of the game. So, like I said, if you want to see all that stuff, I would definitely go ahead and check out their video. Now, as far as what's coming next for the game, as far as its promotion goes, ManVers people did say that they are hoping to do some gameplays. I'm assuming they're going to try to come out with those before the campaign starts. If not, they'll probably do it like within the day or two afterward. They haven't said when they're putting it out, so I have no idea when that is. However, if you go on to YouTube and do a search for DC Superheroes United and look for Dice Tower, they do have a scheduled playthrough, it looks like, of the game on June 28th, which I believe is next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, I'm assuming. So if you do want to check out a live playthrough of the game, that is going to be the time to do it. And like the ManVers Meeple video, I will put a link down to the page for the Dice Tower ones that you guys can see that. I will be more than likely tuning in for that myself, just because I really want to see how this game plays. So far from everything I've seen of it through the dev diaries and other stuff, this does look like it's going to be the definitive United experience. It is a little bit of shame because it does look like this is now going to be replacing Marvel United. I always love Marvel characters, although DC heroes were the first ones I read as a young kid. I stuck with Marvel through like most of high school, college, and everything like that, and came back later in college and afterward to DC. So, but yeah, you know, as much as I would like for them to create some additional content, finish some teams in Marvel United, it is definitely looking like DC United is where we're going to be going with that. So that is what's coming out from other YouTubers for the game. One definitive playthrough we know of, another one planned, I guess. As far as what we're going to be doing on the channel, I mentioned it in a few other videos, but I am planning, I just got to focus on it, and I'll be kind of explaining some of that in another video, but I do need to finish coming up with what I feel are going to be my predictions for what we're going to be seeing in the video. I know very much that everything I'm probably going to predict is going to be wrong, but it is a fun thing to do with that, and I encourage you guys when we post that video to comment about what you were hoping to see from DC Superheroes United. After that, as I've said earlier, we are going to be doing our coverage of the campaign as it's going on, basically doing a big video day one, at the very end of day one, probably very late at night once we know all the stretch goals have been hit for the day, talking about everything that was revealed on day one, and then after that posting videos whenever new expansions are released for the game. And with those, we'll go over anything that they give us as far as information like characters, gameplay modes, anything like that. So you definitely want to be tuned in for that. And you can see any of our other Marvel videos in the past that we've done for that, kind of see how that's going to go. With that said, make sure that if you haven't already, go ahead and please subscribe to the channel so that way we can continue to grow what we have here. Make sure to hit the notification bell to know when we're going to be putting out those videos and other videos that we have planned for the channel. Comment down below with what you're excited about or anything for this particular game here. And I think that is all the buttons to push. So with that said, I have been Eric. This has been Rockshire Gaming. We have been talking about DC Superheroes United, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.